Hi everyone, this is a mini lecture on what a critical source is and what it is not. And I'm here with my friend Harry Potter. Hello. And let's first look, this should be familiar to you. If we look at the A to Z databases from or in the RCC library, and if we were to do a search, we'll use The Story of an Hour by Kate Chopin as our example text. So let's say that we're trying to find a critical source. This is where we should go. But you might think, no, I don't need to go to the library. I'm just going to Google it. So let's see. So maybe you Google Kate Chopin and you find there's an encyclopedia entry about her in the Encyclopedia Britannica. This is just giving us basically her life story. This is not a critical source. A critical source is going to analyze a work or perhaps discuss or analyze a writer's unique style of writing. That is not what this is. Also, if you think, well, I'm just going to look up story and I'm going to use this definition in my paper and that's my source, that doesn't work either. I love Merriam-Webster.com, I love dictionary.com, but a dictionary entry is not a critical source. What about this one? This is Wikipedia, of course. Wikipedia is wonderful for certain things. It's great for getting background information. It's great for just quickly learning the main points about something. It is not great to use as a source in an academic essay because anyone can go on and change the information, which makes it not credible. So if you wanted to just kind of read through this and look at, for example, critical responses, that would be fine just to gather information. At the bottom, often you can find one of these references in a link, and maybe one of those would be very helpful to you. But Wikipedia itself is not an acceptable source, so do not cite Wikipedia in any essays for college. Now, let's see, well, what about if I try one of these websites like Shmoop, which is a fun name, but where'd it go? This is the sort of website that you might think is okay. I won't tell you that I won't count this as a source if you try to use it, but I will tell you this is not the best source. This, like Wikipedia, is one of those sources that is great for just general information or learning about something really quickly. Perhaps if we wanted to find out about tone in Story of an Hour, and we weren't really going to write a paper about it. It's just something we're interested in. This is great. It's not great as a source for a literary analysis paper because it basically is doing the thinking for you, as is this one. This one is SparkNotes. It's very similar. And you can get a summary of the story, a list of the characters, the main ideas, quotes, and so on. But really, this is just, let's look at themes. These types of websites are really just collections of somebody else's literary analysis. And again, it's kind of doing the thinking for you. Plus, these are really, really easy to plagiarize from. I've seen a lot of essays that were cut and pasted from sites like this. Another one, this one's Lit Charts, very similar to the others. This one, though, charges you a fee for a subscription if you want to get really deep into information. And of course, that lessens its credibility. Now, there are tons of these sites. When I was in high school, we used to get little Cliff's Notes books. And when we were reading Wuthering Heights and we didn't want to actually read Wuthering Heights, we would read the summary of each chapter. Unfortunately, that's something kids tend to do. You're not kids anymore, but you might be tempted to do that. And that's the problem, that most people don't use these the way these websites are meant to be used. They use them instead of reading the actual text. So back to the A to Z databases in the RCC library. We could do some searching and we would find actual literary criticism, like this one, Kate Chopin's Flash Fiction and Flash Fiction Theory. And just glancing through this, we can tell that this is analyzing the text. It's not reviewing it, but it's taking it apart and looking at the pieces. Same with this one. Oh, this first has the story itself and then some analyses of it. And we get some authors' names, and they're talking about different critical theories applied to this story. This is literary criticism. This is a critical source. Or this one, A Matter of Behavior, a semantic analysis of 5 Kate Chopin stories. It has the word analysis in the title. So you know that this is literary criticism. This is a critical source. These are the types of sources that I want you to be able to find and use. As far as finding them, it's actually pretty easy because you have access to the RCC library website right through our Canvas class. It's on the left in course navigation under that list that begins with home. And during the day, there are librarians ready to chat with you, or you can call them or email. You can get help from them, and you can find really effective, good sources to use, good critical sources. So a critical source is not this. It's not this. whoops, it's not this, or this, or this, or this. If it's sort of doing the thinking for you, if it's almost begging you to copy and paste it into your paper, it's not an acceptable critical source. So if you have questions about critical sources, please ask me. And if you have trouble finding them, you can talk to the RCC librarians. And yes, you could go to Google Scholar or something like that. But I've tried that, and most of the links there will take you to something that you have to buy. And you don't want that. You already pay enough for your education. So the RCC library is the best source for critical sources, literary criticism. And like I said, they can help you, I can help you, but know the difference between a critical source and a not critical source. All right. Okay, thank you.